can't read chat for a little bit because I have the Unabomber manifesto pulled up. Give me a sec.
YouTube! I'm sure you guys have wondered millions of bajillions of times. Man, I wonder what it would be like to live with each Overwatch hero as a roommate. But after today, you will not have to wonder any longer, because I am making the definitive RubenSargasm Overwatch hero roommate tier list that will never be topped, and it is objectively correct, as is every other RubenSargasm tier list. 100% guarantee. Now, you might be wondering, Ruben, what are your standards for what a good roommate would be? There's a few important things to being a good roommate, okay? You gotta be cleanly, not too loud, do your part in the general housekeeping of being a roommate, and probably other factors. I'm gonna be honest, I've never had a roommate before, but I know what I'm talking about, and I'm very educated on what makes a good roommate, because I have this, and I can imagine with my brain. This guy's giving cliff notes? Yeah, I am. What about it? Oh, also not too loud. You know who would be too loud? Bastion. This guy has no homemaking skills. He does not know how to take out the trash. He does not know how to do the dishes. He does not know how to do anything. I feel like he would be a kind of useless teammate. Not teammate, roommate. But at least he wouldn't eat in order to need to do dishes in the first place. So honestly, probably not that bad. Could be a lot worse. Maybe just a little loud. You know, I feel like that would be the biggest problem with Bastion. He wouldn't have to do any dishes because he's not using any dishes because he's Bastion. He's just kind of like stomping around, being loud. At most, a minor nuisance. But like, he basically like wouldn't exist as a roommate. He's just there. Cassidy? Do we think he's cleanly? Do we think Cassidy is hygienic? Would he clean up after himself? Would he do the dishes after he eats? I think not. I think a step beyond that. I think this, maybe out of all the guys on the Overwatch roster, he would be the one to sneak into the fridge and take your leftovers. Take your leftovers and eat them. You would leave half your Chipotle bowl for you to eat later. You would go back to it 4 hours later, it wouldn't be there anymore because Cassidy ate it. And that is fucked up. So he goes, eats your food. Asshole. Probably not very hygienic either. Fuck this guy. Shit ass roommate. Also, this guy smokes, and I don't think he has the courtesy to smoke outside with the windows open or smoke outside. He's gonna be smoking in the kitchen. Bad roommate. Know who else eats your leftovers? Diva. Why? She's like her character, she is a little gremlin. She's gonna eat your food. Little asshole. Fuck you. No. Bad roommate. Also probably wouldn't do the dishes. She's a StarCraft pro. There's no chance she's doing dishes. She's gonna order Uber Eats 4 times a day and not do anything around the house except generate garbage that she won't take out. But you know what's even worse than the eats your food tier? You know what's even worse? Whatever the hell Junkrat is. Now you might be asking, Ruben, what could possibly be worse than eating your food and not doing the dishes and being loud? And to that, I have a tier inspired by a story my friend told me about his college roommate that would shave his pubes in the shower and leave them there. And you know what? Junkrat would do that. Junkrat would leave his pubes in the shower. Not based. No. That is disgusting. That is the most disgusting thing you could do. Pubes in the bathtub. Get a grip. If you're gonna be a piece of shit, at least, like, don't make other people deal with your piece of shitness. Would he also blow up the bathtub? Would he accidentally make a pipe bomb in the toilet and there would be porcelain and shit everywhere? Maybe, but I think it's worse to leave pubes in the shower because then your roommate has to use the shower and deal with your pubes being there. And that's gross. That is disgusting. I hate every part of the idea of that. And you know, I've been kind of talking a lot of smack about a lot of the characters, but you know who I think would be a pretty good roommate? Probably Zarya. She's like a disciplined individual. You know, she would do the dishes. She wouldn't leave a mess. She would take out the trash. Now, my question is she like a model roommate? Is she like the best roommate you could possibly imagine? Or is she just a good roommate? We'll think about that a little longer as we leave Zarya in the, does the dishes tier. She does the dishes. Pretty good, pretty solid. Just a good roommate. Yeah, I mean, she's pretty good. Now, you know who a model... Wait. Model roommate would be? in my opinion, I feel like Mercy would be a pretty solid roommate. Not only would she do the dishes, not only would she, not because she's a woman, but because she's just a good roommate. She'd clean up after herself. She'd make sure the place is tidy. Wow, because she's a woman champ. No. She would just be tidy, clean up after herself. Maybe if you're a shitty roommate, she'd probably clean up after you too, which you should clean up after yourself. Don't make Mercy clean up after you, but she probably would if you did. I feel like she would be a particularly good roommate because she would be very considerate, cleaning up after herself, maybe even cleaning up after you, which you should clean up after yourself. Don't make Mercy clean up after you. She gives me the vibes of someone who would be a great roommate to have. Zarya, good roommate. Mercy, vibes of a better roommate. Kind of like Lucio. Funny little guy. Would he be? Okay, you could make an argument that he would be a little loud. She's a medical professional. She's gonna have all the odd hours and be a tired ass mess when she gets home. Don't care. She gives me the vibes of a good roommate, so fuck your opinion, it's wrong. I feel like Anna would be good as long as you aren't loud after 9 p.m. She's an old lady. She's going to sleep at 8. She's also like a veteran, so she could probably sleep through anything. Anna would be a model roommate. She would be literal grandma archetype that takes care of you and does everything for you. Are you kidding me? Yeah, did she abandon her daughter? But we're not talking about her parenting skills. We're talking about her roommate skills. Her potential roommate skills. And I'd say they're pretty up there. Lucio would be loud? Okay. You could make an argument for Lucio being loud, but he wouldn't be that loud. He wouldn't be like DJing in the house. He might bring friends over. I think he'd be a good roommate. I think he'd be responsible enough to take care of the things that he needs to take care of. Kind of like Hanzo. Hanzo seems like a responsible older brother. Did he kind of cut his brother up into pieces and almost kill him? Yeah, but like, you're not his brother, so you don't need to worry about that. You'll be fine. His brother, not so much. Probably a good roommate, I think. Now, his brother, I don't know what to do with this guy. I need to come up with this tier first. How do I spell inoffensive? I figured out how to spell inoffensive. Let's go. Genji would be the same as Hanzo? I don't know if Genji would be the same as Hanzo. I feel like Genji is definitely a lot more of a gremlin than Hanzo. But not, okay, when I say a lot more of a gremlin, I feel like he would be a less responsible roommate than Hanzo, but I feel like he'd be fine. He'd be okay as a, he wouldn't be outstanding. He'd probably do the dishes after himself, like, most of the time. He'd be okay. He'd be alright. He definitely wouldn't be too loud, but I mean, they're both disciplined, yeah, but Genji's like a little silly guy, so he gets knocked down for that. Lucio's also a little silly guy, but like, he gives me the vibes of somebody who is a little silly guy in different ways than Genji, and Genji maybe not able to take care of himself as much. Maybe if Genji knew how to take better care of himself, then he wouldn't have gotten sliced up into ribbons by his brother. So he gets put into the inoffensive roommate tier, okay? Sounds like you hate Genji. Sounds like you're stupid and should shut up. Feel like we need a stinky tier for Hog. Honestly, that is a factor in being a roommate. Personal hygiene, if you smell bad and you are stinky and unpleasant to be in the direct vicinity of because you smell bad, kind of knocks you down a little bit. A little loud, a little smelly, maybe? Nope. I think inoffensive roommate tier is good. Junker Queen, probably a little loud. I feel like Junker Queen, not model roommate. Perhaps a little loud with the sounds of hammers clinking around in her room as she forges armor out of dead Omnics. And as she does, God knows what the fuck she would do in her free time. And she's Australian. Honestly, we're just gonna put all the Australians in that tier. Roadhog does not belong in a little loud tier. Junkrat leaves his pubes in the bathtub. We're putting one Australian in this tier. Like I just said. Junker Queen would 100% eat your food. Yeah, all the Australians go in a little loud tier except for Junkrat and except for Roadhog. Honestly, people saying that Hog would be a smelly roommate or not a good roommate, I feel like he'd be I feel like he'd be a good roommate. I feel like he'd be solid. He'd take care of himself. He'd do the dishes. He wouldn't eat your food. He would leave pubes in the bathroom. I think you guys have a very low opinion of Roadhog. Nah, he stank? No, he don't stank. He would take care of himself. I am headcanoning Roadhog as a hygienic individual who takes good care of himself. Why are we talking about Hammond being born on the moon? This is a rodent. Pubes in the bathtub? He wouldn't shave his pubes. Do hamsters have pubes? I don't think hamsters have pubes. but he would eat your food. He would raid the fridge and eat your food like the little asshole he is. Fuck this guy. If I could make an eats your food 2 tier that's below pubes in the bathtub, I would put him there. But I can't. So he goes in the eats your food tier because he would eat your food. But he wouldn't shave his pubes in the bathtub because he's a hamster. And I don't think they have pubes. He would have his big ass ball in the house. He wouldn't take up a room for himself because he just has his ball. Roadhog would be the kind of guy to bring home takeout by surprise for you? Absolutely. You can create a new one? No. I don't think I will. May? Model roommate. She would take care of herself and the house and probably you a little bit, and she wouldn't let you get cryogenically frozen to death like her friends, so she'd be a good roommate. I need to put a not woman in model roommate tier so I don't look like a misogynist. See, you guys are saying Roadhog stinks. This guy stinks. This guy has not showered in eons, and he's in the same smelly suit that he's been running around as a vigilante in for months. Nah, he's gay? No. That has nothing to do with anything. Are you kidding me? This guy smells like shit. But would he eat your food? He wouldn't be a little loud. Would he eat your food? He would leave his pubes in the bathtub. Gays don't stink. Soldier stinks. Canonically. Canonically, Soldier 76 stinks. And canonically, Soldier 76 leaves his pubes in the bathtub. Ruben equals homophobe confirmed. I hate you people. This is the most bigoted, biased tier list I've ever seen. Dude, this is ableism. Are you calling being gay a disability? Hello? I'm the ableist? Are you kidding me? You people, what are you talking? I hate you guys. I hate you guys. He's old. Being old is not a disability, man. Hello? Are you stupid, Luke? Actual model roommate, Baptiste. This guy would make sure the place is spiffy. He wouldn't eat your food. He would do his dishes, do his own laundry, wouldn't smell, handsome. What's not to love about Baptiste as a roommate? Ramatra, I feel like he'd be fine. I feel like he'd be okay. Inoffensive roommate. No dishes. He would stomp around a bit, maybe be a little loud, but like, you'd be able to have some good, interesting conversation with him. Just like, don't be a belligerent omnic racist, and you'll be good. And I feel like that's a very low bar. Inoffensive roommate, I don't think he's gonna do any harm to you. Baptiste would fart on you. What is wrong with you people? He would be the weird racist guy. Ramatra? Farah definitely eats your food. How do you think she's so jacked? You think she's jacked because she only eats her own food? No. She ups her caloric intake by eating the food that belongs to her roommates that's in the fridge. The more you know. Now you know. Farah would be bad, but not on purpose. Farah would forget to do the dishes. Farah would forget to do the dishes, and she would eat your food. F tier dude. She is not leaving her pubes in the bathtub, man. A roommate relationship with Ram would just be both of you being racist to each other. You're right. We should bump him up. Good point. Reaper. This guy would never do the dishes. This guy would never do shit around the house. He wouldn't do a damn thing. This guy would let garbage pile up in his room and in the trash can, and he wouldn't do a damn thing about it. But would he eat your food? Not a little loud tier. Slacker. Slacking on the house chores. All of these guys. Bastion, slacking on the house chores, not doing a damn thing around the house. He doesn't know how to do anything. Junker Queen. Junker Queen. Reaper, this guy just would do absolute jack shit. There's an emote of him eating cookies from your pantries. It's canon. The Reaper would eat your food, but I'm not going to put him in the eats your food tier because it's just a spray or emote, so that's not canon, so I'm not counting it. Ryan? Do you think Ryan eats your food? I have a feeling Ryan eats your food. I feel like he's a hungry guy. He's a big guy. He's got to eat a lot of food. I feel like he would eat your food and then replace it for you. Like, if you left a half-eaten Chipotle bowl in the fridge and Ryan ate it, he would feel bad and order another one for you because he's a good guy. So I feel like that balances it out. If he orders the food that was for you initially and then replaces it, that's cool. Like, that absolves you of all sin. And he'd be really fun to have conversation with. I feel like that's an important factor too. Being fun to talk to. Ryan would be fun to talk to. It'd be fun to talk to Gramps. Talk about the olden days of 2030, 2040. He'd be fun. He'd be a fun guy. Put him in the top tier? No, I don't think so. Reinhardt gets drunk and beats you. Guy screams nothing but beer and honor and glory all the time. Why are you headcanoning Reinhardt as a belligerent alcoholic? What part of his character insinuates that he is a domestic abuser? What's wrong with you? Get a grip. What the fuck? Sim? She'd be whatever. When does he ever say anything about alcohol? Beer! But I mean, besides that, Sim? I feel like she'd be She'd be okay. She'd be fine. She'd like probably do her part enough. You wouldn't really see her very often. It's like you don't have a roommate. She'd be doing her own thing a lot of the time. Not be home a lot of the time. She'd be fine. Nothing problematic. She wouldn't eat your food or anything. She wouldn't leave pubes in the sink. Nothing crazy. She'd nag at you to do your chores. Yeah, probably. She'd be fine. She'd probably be fairly responsible. Do most of her things. Sim gives you a free car wash for your Honda Civic. Sim puts you in the car wash and kills you for being stupid. You specifically. Torb? Okay. So lore that we need to take into consideration. This guy has like 30 kids. He probably knows how to take care of the house. But also he cares more about his turrets than his actual children. He probably has 13 kids and makes them all do the chores, while he doesn't do shit around the house. He would be too busy working and use his work as an excuse to not do chores. He'd be like, man, I'm busy doing engineering stuff. I can't do these chores. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he wouldn't be messy in the sense that he would leave like garbage everywhere, but he would leave the living room and kitchen pretty messy with just his shit everywhere. Why is he texting now? What do you mean why is he's been texting? He's making lava angels on the new carpet? No, because then you'd get evicted and that would be bad and that would put him in a lot lower, but he just doesn't really do his chores very much. Widow! Listen, I don't think she's doing jack shit around the house. She wouldn't make too much of a mess, but she just would kind of be AFK. In terms of taking care of things, she wouldn't do the dishes. She wouldn't take out the trash. She'd leave it all to you and not be sorry about it. Consider Tracer also brings Emily with her, so you effectively have a second roommate. That's cheating. Nope. That's not how we're gonna do this. Zen! Okay. So here's the thing about Zen. He's a monk. Chill-ass dude. He's involved in a monastery. They gotta do their own thing in the monastery. Make sure the monastery's up and running. He's probably a very responsible individual. Good for him. Great roommate. And he would make for great conversation. And he wouldn't be loud. Oh my god. He might actually be the best roommate out of all the Overwatch heroes. We love Zen. He's probably the best roommate. Yeah. He's gonna put his balls You need to stop talking. He'd leave his hair in the bathroom when he shaves his head. That is a good point. Zen probably could grow a wicked head of hair. And he just shaves it off every day in the bathtub. His philosophical conversations every day would make me want to kill myself. You're such a hater, man! He's literally just a chill little guy. He's a monk. Why are you such a hater? He's so cool. He's a monk. Tracer eats your food. You know who else eats your food? Sombra eats your food. Sombra would eat your food and then flip you off when you confront her about it, which is kind of fucked up, but you know what? Go off, queen. Winston. Winston would do the dishes. Winston would absolutely do the dishes. Winston's a responsible guy. He might leave some, like, gorilla fur around because he's a gorilla, and you might be like, oh, hey, there's some gorilla fur over there. But, like, besides that, he'd be a pretty great roommate. He'd be responsible. He'd be fun to be around. He's a little big for the apartment because we're talking about like a 2-bedroom LA, $2,500 a month rent. So it's like probably like 600 square feet. He'd take up a lot of that, you know, being the big guy he is. He's a responsible, chill guy. He'd do great, I think. Orisa, also large. Takes up a lot of space in the house. She is kind of designed to be the perfect, like, individual for being around as a person, question mark. She's probably programmed to, like, you know, be responsible. Would she do a good job doing the dishes? Would she break the dishes? Orisa would be a perfect roommate. She wouldn't eat any food. She would do your dishes. You would leave dishes in the sink and she would do all of them for you with no complaints. She would do your laundry, She would do your dishes. She would do everything around the house. She would be perfect. Marissa's way too heavy. First floor. We're on the first floor here. We don't need to worry about that. She was made to help folks. Exactly. She's a model roommate. Moira. I think she would be too busy practicing eugenics on bunnies to be a good roommate. But she wouldn't leave her pubes in the bathtub. And I don't think she would eat your food. Not pubes tier. Nope. I feel like she would just slack off really hard and not be home a lot of the time. She would be cooking stuff up in the lab and then come home and then just go sleep. But also she might kill you while you're asleep, which kind of sucks. But we don't have a tier to account for that. So just slack her. Doom! Listen, man, you gotta have some good organizational skills to be the leader of a terrorist organization. So I feel like he'd be a good roommate. He can clean up after himself. He's definitely hygienic. He'd make sure you're doing your part. He would do his part. Everything would operate incredibly smoothly. But also maybe he would slack a little bit on his part because he's like a hot shot and he's got a little bit of an ego. But for the most part, he would do everything he needs to do. He would definitely take out the trash. That is one thing. Like, as soon as the trash can gets full, he would take it out. And that's very admirable. Brig has to, like, basically take care of Reinhardt, despite being his goddaughter. She would slack a little bit with the dishes. I feel like she would occasionally leave some in the sink and be like, man, I'll take care of it later. But she'll still do them most of the time. And she has a cat, so she's a pretty damn good roommate. Ash, she's a spoiled brat who has a butler robot, and we're not getting the butler robot with Ash. She doesn't know how to do dishes. She doesn't know how to take out the trash. She would absolutely eat your food in the fridge because she feels entitled to it as the spoiled rich brat that she is. Bad roommate. Sigma would forget to do the household chores. Poor guy, but it would suck still to be with somebody who would forget to do the household chores. What the heck, man? Just fucking just remember to do the dishes. Just remember to get your hair out of the drain. Just remember to take out the trash. Please, man. Please, just do your part. Just help this household operate normally. Echo! Just inoffensive. I don't think she would do much, but she also wouldn't make much of a mess. I feel like she would be stuck in her room studying and learning most of the time about human behavior. But, like, I don't think she needs to eat. I don't think she generates trash. Like, you just wouldn't have you just, like, would basically not have a roommate, pretty much. I feel like he'd be inoffensive since he's so friendly and wants to help, though. Yeah, but that doesn't make up for not doing the dishes. That doesn't make up for not doing household chores. Sojourn! She's like a commander. Military lady. She absolutely does the dishes. Are you kidding me? She's responsible. She's disciplined. She would take care of the household. She wouldn't do any part of the household chores that you're supposed to be doing, because she'd be like, yo, get it the fuck together. In my head, there's no way this guy isn't a model roommate. Are you kidding me? This guy would be a fantastic roommate. Top tier, without a doubt. He would smell great, which you might be a little confused as to why that's important. But do you want to be around somebody that doesn't smell great? Okay, would you rather be around somebody that smells great or doesn't smell great? I'm willing to bet you're gonna want to be around the guy that smells like flowers, because he's flower guy. He's got a flower on his back. He's Jonathan Flower. So he'd smell great, he'd do his part, and he's hot. So, boom, perfect roommate. Kiriko, she'd be too busy being out and about to do the household chores. And she would raid the fridge whenever she's hungry. And whatever she sees in the fridge, she's eating. Kiriko would be annoying as I don't think she would be that annoying. I don't know why everybody thinks Kiriko's so annoying. I think she'd be perfectly fine. She wouldn't be annoying. She'd be fine. But it would be annoying how she would eat your food, and that's fucked up, so she goes in that tier. Venture. Here's the problem. I don't think they would leave their pubes in the sink. Not the sink, the bathtub. The house would be a fucking mess. Please don't shave your pubes in the sink. The house would be a fucking mess. It would be covered in sand. There would be rocks everywhere. You would find rocks in your shoes. You'd find sand on the floor. It would be in the carpet. I'm so sorry. I'm renaming the pubes in the bathtub tier because there's no way Venture goes higher than the bottom tier. But Venture also doesn't leave their pubes in the sink. In the bathtub. Why am I saying sink? Havoc amongst the household. For Soldier, pubes in this bathtub. My man said sink. Dude, I can't get sink out of my brain. Maga pubes in bathroom. It's never boring around me. No. Maga cleans up after himself. Ilyari would blow up your house. No. Not using that again. We're not doing a repeat of the criminal tier list. No. We're not putting her in the worst tier for blowing up everybody she knows and loves. She's had it rough enough already. Havoc or pubes in bathtub. I think this is a good, because Soldier wouldn't wreak havoc. He would just leave his pubes in the bathtub. Inoffensive, moody teenager who would stay in her room and like kind of do their chores. More often than not, I guess. She still has a lot of experience to gain as a person being a roommate. As someone who's never had roommates before, I feel like she'd be in the defensive tier. I've heard pubes too many times, so I want to stop. Don't worry, we're not going to be talking about Maga's pubes, because Maga is a hygienic, cleanly man. Would he be a model roommate? Would he do the dishes? Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to put him in the slacker tier, because he has proven himself to not be a great teammate. Do you guys remember, like, his origin story / animated short thing where Sombra was like, hey, don't do that thing. That's not a good idea. And then he goes ahead and does it anyways because he feels like it. I feel like he does things that he feels like doing, which includes not doing the chores because he doesn't feel like doing the chores. So he would also kind of leave a mess, and he wouldn't be home that often because he'd be out partying too often. He'd bring home people really often, and it'd be kind of a nuisance to put up with him. But he's a fun guy, and I don't think he would eat your food because he's more considerate than that. But I feel like, with that all being said, we have a perfect tier list on our hands once again. Perfect? Yeah. This is a perfect tier list once again. I mean, if you disagree with this being a perfect tier list, you can talk about it all you want in the comment section below. Or you can mention, wow, Ruben, this is a perfect tier list. Once again, good job. I'm so proud of you. I'm gonna like and subscribe because of how much I love this video. Isn't that right, chat? How we're all gonna be liking and subscribing and commenting on how much we like the video and how much we agree with the tier list. If you enjoyed the video, obviously you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure to sub. We're getting pretty close to 10K. If you guys could, close the gap, that'd be pretty wicked. Thank you for watching, YouTube. Chat, say bye to YouTube. Bye, YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being here. Stay tuned and stay subscribed for more RubenSargasm tier lists. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.